Well, speaking about the differences between the two men, then, for example, it was widely reported, just sort of anecdotally, that after the 1960 election against Kennedy, there was pretty credible evidence that Kennedy had some serious cases of voter fraud across the country. And a lot of advisors to Nixon said, you should fight this thing. And Richard Nixon apparently said, no, I'm not going to tear the country up over something like this. And now you have a president whose voter fraud is his entire calling card. I mean, really, it's a fundamental difference about personal power versus the destruction of the country. Nixon has just been demonized as the most venal and selfish president in American history, but he's really nothing compared to this fellow.
Well, look, I'm a Nixonite, although I would have to say you gave the most charitable explanation of 1960 possible. The truth is, the election was stolen from Richard Nixon. He knew it. But the evidence in Texas, where the most egregious stealing one, had already been destroyed, and there's no recount law there. So I think he had to take into consideration that even had he asked for a recount, the chances of getting an honest recount were virtually impossible. So he took a pass. And of course, that turned out for him to be the best thing that happened, because 8 years later, he made the most fantastic comeback in American political history. But the notion that there is no longer voter fraud, which is what this administration tries to tell us, is nonsense. Or the idea that someone should be required to show a driver's license or a photo ID to vote, I don't find that terribly objectionable. You need one to get on an airplane. Why wouldn't you need one to be able to cast the most important thing you have, your vote?